guys. Sorry for the very short notice on this one. I was hemming and hawing about whether I would go live, and then I was like, oh, whatever, just go. So it might be a short one, but that's what I decided. I decided to go live. I decided. So yeah, I'm here. Who's here? How's everyone doing? I have like hot hair. You know how there's like hat hair? I have hot hair today. It actually doesn't look that bad on this camera. But you know when it gets just a bit puff? So that's like, yeah, it looks okay. Hi EG, hi Fatal Framer. Yes, baddies assemble. There's like, that makes me want like a 2D, I don't know, like opening sequence. It'd be really fun. Hi Hannes, hi Austin, hi Autofix. Hey, is everything okay? Yeah, everything's good. I was out all day, so like I'm a bit tired. Which is also partly why I was considering not going on. But also kind of why I'm so thirsty. My hair looks nice as always. Thank you. Ugh, okay. I can relax now. My hair looks alright. Hey Matthew. Wait, who else is here? You're here, and so glad there's a live stream. Oh, you're sweet. Oh yeah, of course, Matthew. Of course. I'm sorry it took a few days. Normally it takes me a few days. But actually, I kind of like that. Like, when someone writes me a long email, I kind of like to read it and then think about it. Think about how best to respond. I kind of like create a letter in my head and I edit it. And then when I'm feeling kind of calm and relaxed, I send it off. I'm kind of the same way with text messages, which I'm sure is so annoying to some people, but like, I just need time. I just need time, okay? Cute pink water bottle. Thank you. This is my, what? I can't even remember what she's called now. Nezuko. This is my Nezuko water bottle. Nezuko. Extra points, if you know who I'm talking about. And those points, they add up. You do a lot of editing. Yeah. I mean, it exists for perpetuity. You know? Who knows? There might be a court trial one day where someone reads my text aloud. That must be so weird. Hi, gamer. Oh, I read your mind. We're all connected. Optimism is your ultimate superpower. Really? That is a superpower. Have you always been optimistic? Nezuko, Nezuko, is from Demon Slayer. She's the sister. She has a strip of bamboo in her mouth. Always. Always. I mean, maybe not one day. Wouldn't that be something? How am I? So, like, I'm a bit scattered, I'll be honest. Like, my thoughts are kind of all over the place, but that's okay. And I'm being interrupted right now, so apologies. Hi.
For a gelato?
A gelato? Well, I'm live streaming right now, but maybe after?
I'll live stream people.
Maybe after? Or if you want to go.
Or we could bring you back some.
Sure. Yeah, bring me back some. Thank you. Gelato. I probably should just like let her be on camera. I just feel weird about having my mom be filmed without. No, I'm not like not feeling good. I'm just talking about like right now, because this is kind of impromptu. And then like overall, the thing I was doing wasn't exactly something I wanted to be doing. So I was a bit grouchy about that, if I'm totally being honest. I'll tell her you say hi. I should just bring her on the channel one time. She's like, she is a pretty fantastic person. Pretty great. We didn't used to have such a good relationship. And now we have such a good relationship. Like, I love that. I love how you like completely forget a way something used to be, especially when it's, you know, used to be to the negative. Yeah, I should let her be on. We'll do one together. We'll do one together. We'll do like a, what would it be? It'd be like, I don't know, she could ask me questions or something like that. Or I could ask her questions. I don't know. She could talk about something. You wish you were more optimistic. You were seriously suggesting this topic? That's amazing. Does the mom become if the love is true, the bad times won't really mean anything. What I mean is like, well, whatever. I don't know what exactly you mean by that. We always loved each other, and that's always something I've had in my family. But it was like something that kind of like confused the hell out of me, because I was like, we love each other. Why are things the way they are? Like, I just thought, if you love someone, like, it works. Because they were always very like, we love you, I love you. I think that's why I have like some weirdness around love, because I'm like, I don't know that I still have it, but I used to say that it didn't mean anything, because it seemed like you could love someone and still cause them pain, right? Which is true, of course it's true. Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna get on to the topic about optimism. And I specifically, I mean, it was kind of like what I was dealing with this week, and I'm gonna talk about that, but literally, I was watching a YouTube video, like a book review. I'm doing a lot of research on Goethe for something I'm writing, something I'm potentially writing. So I'm researching Goethe, which is actually like, he's an amazing example of optimism and had some really inspiring philosophy for those of you who want to check him out. Maybe I'll even like post a lecture that I just listened to about him below, because it's amazing how much his philosophy coincides with things I've been talking about and like things I believe in. And you discover that like as you, but I don't know, that's just how it works. It's like you become sensitive to the things that you're thinking about, and you just notice them, and maybe they've been there the whole time, but you notice them for the first time, right? And you're like, that's what it is. So he talks a lot about, you know, like, you are not who you're born. You're not German. You're not low class, middle class, whatever. You are what you do. You are like who you are every moment, and you're always changing and you're always growing. And so that's really like the base for what would be existentialism. But existentialists, they took it in a really negative way. And this is kind of like what I grew up with, meaning like everything is empty and meaningless. We're not like, there's nothing, there's just nothing, we are nothing, like there's no meaning, there's no purpose, it's just emptiness. But Goethe was like, this is amazing. This means you're continuously just like changing and moving and growing, and you can be whatever you want at any moment in time. And and his work very much reflects that like he would just move to whatever topic most interested him. And he really believed in like living a happy, fulfilling life, a pleasant life, you know, and completely went against the idea of like what genius was at the time, and in a way still is. It's a lot better, but especially at the time, you know, you're supposed to suffer. You're supposed to not be good with money. You're supposed to have like weirdness about you and like social anxiety about you or something. And he really didn't have that. He really believed in like being fulfilled and being happy and just living a good life. So anyway, Goethe. And then I was watching a book review for Faust because I'll probably read it. I should probably just read Faust. But this is so like whatever. But the book reviewer, and I could tell this person was this, he's talking about like optimism, pessimism, which kind of comes into play in Faust. You know, of like Dr. Faust, he like experiences all that life has to offer, you know, and it's like, is it worth it in the end? Is it worth it to like pursue our whatever, our desires, our whims? Is it all worth it? Whatever. I forget how we got onto this, but he was like optimism, pessimism, and he's like, I do tend to lean towards the pessimistic. And his justification for this was like, happiness, optimism seems like turning a blind eye, like intentional blindness. That, okay, there's these bad things going on, and I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm just gonna like, no, and live in a nice little happy bubble. And this is something that my guess, like from my experience and my perception, people come towards pessimism from a place of thinking they're being smart in a way. That they're being smarter, they're being more aware, they're being more knowledgeable. And like, I think, you know, I couldn't disagree more. I think it's a big fear that people have, and it's born out of needing to respond to what they see around them and to kind of protect themselves. Like, I think pessimism is born out of protection, really, is born out of needing to, okay, I have to know all the bad things that are going to happen. I have to know all the bad things that are happening in the world. Why? Am I going to do anything about it? I don't know, but I just need to know. I need to know. And like, that's also why I think you have like a lot of intellectuals who, or people who like pride themselves on being intellectual or smart, and they tend to lead towards this. They tend to lead towards like a kind of negative outlook. It's very strange. I could be wrong, but it seems like a lot of people lean towards that. And then you have to ask, well, what is it you've been learning, and what is it you've been paying attention to? And this is really something that I feel like for all their smartness, they're missing, because you can only see what like you want to see. You only are receiving confirmation of what you've decided is true. So you go, okay, I've looked out there, I've like seen what I've seen, and I've drawn this conclusion. No, you've drawn the conclusion of what you are right now. You've observed what you are, and then you drew a conclusion from that. As opposed to if you changed who you are and you said, no, the world is a good place. No, things do turn out okay. Things do work out. Or most people are happy. Most people are nice. Or my life is actually really working out. Or just the world is just a good place. Or I don't care what's going on. I don't care what I see. I feel good. I just feel good. Today is good. Whatever, like, and you don't have to qualify that at all. You just decide today is good, and you'll get confirmation back that it's good, because that's how it works. Like, so much is just done for you. And so this week, I've kind of been doing that. Like, things have come up, but one of the things that I changed about kind of work that I've like, not work that I've been doing on myself, but a kind of line of thinking is instead of waiting for something outside and putting efforts towards the outside, you know, and even putting efforts inside, hoping to see like results on the outside, you know what I mean? Like even just like building myself up and building my like self-esteem and confidence, hoping that it gets like that I see evidence somewhere down the road. I started being like, I want to feel good now. Now, right now. I want to feel stable. I want to feel good now. And instead of this, okay, if I put in the work and I like reprogram my mind and I start believing in myself and I start saying good things about myself, eventually I'll start to believe it. So I've been doing a lot of that, a lot of like affirming in my head and a lot of being like, no, like just building myself up without believing it yet. But everyone who talks about this is like, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to feel good. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And you will see results. And I'm not saying you don't see results, but it's like, I just wanted to not be waiting anymore and not be, how do I put it? It's like, it's freeing to be like, okay, I don't need to feel a thing about this. But if you're not feeling good, you're not feeling good, and that sucks. So I haven't been feeling good. And this past week, I was like, I feel good. I just like stated it. I feel good about this. I feel good about myself. I feel good about my life. I feel good. I feel good. And I didn't look for evidence. I didn't look for like, because of this, and like conjure up pictures in my head. I just stated it, and the rest follows. Meditation, I think, has been turned into this very specific idea for people, but if you just look at the word meditation, it's just to meditate. Like our minds do so much for us. They're brilliantly made. And the thing is, if you just suggest an idea into the mind, just like feeling good, that's all you have to do. And you just meditate, right, on that idea. Not like in a, you don't have to do that. That's all like extra. Like really, really, this needs to get out of the realm of like, oh, I have to do the thing that people do. I'm not saying that it's not effective, but I'm saying if you just think about meditation as like a putting your focus on something. So, and it can be a really basic thing like feeling good or happiness or just optimism or whatever it is like that you're curious about, and you come and you approach it with curiosity. You just go like feeling good. You're gonna start finding things to feel good about. You're gonna start getting like images of yourself, maybe from the third person, maybe from the first person, feeling good, and things that maybe you would feel good about that are happening to you or that are happening for other people, or just a deeper understanding of what feeling good actually means. And hopefully this too, like a kind of relaxing of your body, like a kind of like, oh yeah, feeling good. And that, so yeah, I started doing that. And that is linked to like what I was talking about last week with states, is it's like, that's the state, you know? Don't worry so much about what the thing looks like that gets you there. If you know that what you want is because there's a state of that belongs to that asset, you know? You're like I was talking about last week, like, okay, having the car makes me feel free. Just jump to freedom. And you don't have to force it. You don't have to force yourself to feel free. You don't ever have to like force yourself. You just have to like sit with the idea of it. Sit with the idea of it and discover it, because you can only want something because you know it. You know it in some shape. And the same way that like thought patterns are formed, like ideas get broadened and deepened and they become a part of you. Anyone who has studied anything meticulously knows that the thing becomes a part of you. Whatever you put your attention on grows and it becomes a part of you because you are what you think about continuously. Okay, so like if you think about cars all the time, like it'll show in some way. And what a car is will show in some way. You'll embody that in some way. And if you think about freedom all the time, you'll embody that in some way. And if you really live in a place of freedom, you'll embody that. If you really consider what freedom is, you'll embody that. You don't have to like, oh, now I'm free. You just have to like think about it and think about it and think about it. And it will start, you'll start finding it in places. You'll start like finding yourself doing it and having it. And you'll start noticing the things that like you might start doing things to give you that you wouldn't have done before. And you might just find that the things that you already are doing, you're now doing from that place because it's on your mind. It's on your mind and it's part of like, it's part of what's there. It's like, these are the tools we have now. These are like, this is what's important now. This is what we're doing now. So to bring that back to optimism, like you always have a choice. Your life is only choice. Every moment you choose. You choose what you put your attention on, what you put your focus on. You choose how you see things. You choose what you think. You choose what you think. And from there, you feel different things, okay? And so it's all just choice. And you can choose optimism. For anyone who's like, I'm not an optimist. Okay? You just chose that. You chose in that moment. And look, we have another moment. You can choose something else. You can choose something else. I think people who don't, I think there's a fear around being seen as an optimist, honestly. I think people are afraid that they'll occur simple or stupid or ignorant. And it couldn't be further from the truth. It couldn't be. Given the choice, what do you want to experience? Because that's all it is. There's no right, there's no wrong. And also, you're always right. Meaning, like, you'll get confirmation back of what you decide. Okay? So you have a choice. There's consequences, sure. Meaning, like, you get what you decide to be. But choosing to be a pessimist is continuing a kind of story that, like, well, yeah, like, bad things happen. Bad things happen. No, things happen. I really mean that. Things happen. You decide every moment. Is this bad? It might look really bad. It might feel really bad. But things always work out. Meaning like they work out. Meaning it keeps going. It keeps going. It's not true. I don't know who said this, but it is not true that ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is suffering. Okay, once you actually figure out who you are and how life works and the nature of yourself and everything, you stop suffering. Okay, so this idea that like to be blissful is stupid, that's wrong. It's the opposite. And if you want to dive deeper into this, read the Tao of Pooh. That's a really, really good study of the blissful idiot, you know? He's actually the smartest one. Of anyone in the 100-acre wood. He's the smartest one. Okay? And like you'll find that, I mean, it's not like I've met many Buddhist monks, but I think the greatest Buddhist monks are like simple. They're simple. They've distilled life, you know, and they're happy and they're pleasant. Like, I think pleasantness is such an underrated quality. Pleasant. It's not needing an extreme, and it's not tied up in an emotion, really. Like, forget emotions. Who cares about emotions? Think in terms of states. Think in terms of like relief. Relief and just like a pleasant, warm, good quality of life. That is so much richer. And from that place, you can experience happiness. You can experience joy. You can experience like goodwill and generosity and gratitude. But you don't have to force yourself into those feelings ever. Okay? You don't have to force any kind of feeling. And you don't have to like disallow any kind of feeling. Because if you're like pleasant, the bad things can bubble up and you're just like, I'm a still pond. It's okay. It's going to be okay. And you choose that in the face of. It takes far more courage, far more greatness, far more strength to be still, to be calm, to be pleasant, to be trusting than it takes to like spiral and stress. The greatest people are the ones who stay cool. Okay, so aspire to be that and discover that place in yourself because it already exists. It's there. And this isn't to say that like we don't want to like Pollyanna over everything. I've been talking for 20 minutes actually. Yeah, because I didn't start right at it. But I was also watching a video on Will Smith. This is a bit different, but it's kind of the same. It was like that Red Table Talk that he had with Jada Pinkett Smith. Why can't I say that name? Jada? It's because I've like never said her name in my entire life. But it seemed like there were rumors about her cheating on him. And so then they decided to do this very public, like, everything's good now discussion about it. And you see it's so weird. It's such a weird relationship dynamic, especially with the context of that. But you see Will Smith always being the guy who has to diffuse any tension. Okay, and he has to put a joke on everything, and he smiles. Like, this was something I didn't know before, but someone told me about it. After the Oscar thing, you know, like whatever it happens, and he's walking back, and there's like this little grin on his face, and that's why people think that it was staged. But no, that's because like that's what Will Smith does. He like and he does that like throughout this interview. He'll say something painful to him and then kind of like put this smile on it, or someone else will say something painful and he'll diffuse it. So it's like, it's not being that person who's like, okay, I'm really hurting and I'm just gonna like push everything down and I'm not gonna allow like any kind of tension to ever exist in the world. And the other thing too is, it's like Jada in that conversation is just talking about her, and she's like, I did it because, like, it's such a weird closing sentence. She's like, I didn't know that you were great enough to love me. And he's like, how am I doing? She's like, you're doing awesome. And then they high five. It's so bizarre. And nowhere in that is like, I'm so sorry I hurt you, or like, I can tell you were really hurt about that. Again, they're trying to make it look like everything's good for the camera, but it's very much like, so I'm just saying that you can own your feelings. You can own the sadness, you can own the hurt, and you can still have that. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Like, meaning that the same way that you can have that for another person, you can have that for yourself. So in the same way that, like, if there was a kid who scraped her knee and she's really upset, you're there with her and you're like, you'll get over this. You're not saying, hey, come on, put a smile. Like, I mean, you could, and people do that. And I'm not saying that's disingenuous or like, but I'm saying you're asking them to force it, as opposed to just like bringing in greater presence of like, hey, remember who you are. And you can have all of this, but you also have choice. And I'm going to give you that freedom now to make whatever choice you want. And also know that that's okay. Like, to be optimistic about yourself. That, like, you can be a mess. You can be imperfect. You can be upset. You can be mad. And it's going to be okay. Whoever you are right now, it's going to be okay. You're allowed to be this. However you're reacting, if you're triggered, if you're angry, if you're yelling, if you're, like, doing horrible things, it's going to be okay. That might seem kind of radical, but, like, that's true too. All right? So be, like, the greater, I don't know, just the greater presence for yourself and for others of, like, things are going to work out. Things are going to work out. All right. I think that's everything that was on my mind. I think so. Yeah, you shouldn't have to force anything. It's just not necessary, honestly. It's just like, it implies, how do I put this? It implies that you're not there. That there's something wrong with where you are forcing. As opposed to if you just suggest something. You go, hey, this. You will naturally get there. You don't have to force it. Be patient. And this applies for anything, by the way, like kind of what I was talking about with meditating on an idea, meditating on like optimism or happiness or changing an idea of yourself, and just kind of like, this I think is very different than the idea of affirming, which is like, we have to get something into our head, we have to cram it in. Like, instead it could just be like you suggest something to yourself continuously. And it's not like you don't need yourself to believe it, you don't need it to be true. You're suggesting it because it's like, it's just something to consider. It's a choice. Oh yeah, I have that option too. Oh yeah, that. And you just like immerse that idea in your head as opposed to like, I have to change my head. Do you know what I mean? It's a very like important distinction. Because one is implying that something's wrong with you, and from that place of something being wrong with you, and like, then you can't get there. Can't forget about Johnny and Amber. Okay, wait. You can't hear me. Oh, okay. You'll have to rewatch this. Hi, Elizabeth. Wait, what did Matthew say? I am more of an optimistic person now since I joined the cult of Nessa's baddies than I was before. That's good. That's good. Good. Just like be bold enough to say you're an optimist. Be bold. Be bold to be happy. In spite of everything. Doesn't matter what's going on out there. I am Winnie the Pooh in you here. Ignorance is bliss. I'm just, yeah, whatever. I guess, I mean, it depends on what you're really talking about. And I would have to actually, like, research that phrase. But it was just, I was thinking about it on my walk home. I think that statement is ignorant. Maybe. I wonder what kind of gelato they're getting me. What do you think? Raspberry? That's really the important thing right now. I didn't say what kind I wanted. Aw, thank you, Skontix? Skontix? I haven't seen you here before. You're okay. Yes, you're an optimist. Okay. What is gelato? It's an Italian ice cream. Why is it different? I don't know. It's just better. What do they do differently? I don't know. It just tastes smoother. You had an idea for my romantic comedy. Nessa's Baddies TV series on the Hallmark Channel. Oh, okay. What does that even mean? What is that? So then, tell me the story. Give me the story. I'm accepting storylines. You're kind of new. You came here from Far Cry. Oh, cool. You're from Canada. Where are you in? It's more like sherbet. What is sherbet, though? Can someone explain to me what these things are? Like, I know what sherbet is. But what is it? Why is it not ice cream? Toronto. I love Toronto. What part of Toronto? What's your address? No. Well, I used to live in the West End. Yeah. No, I'm still kind of working on the romantic comedy. I finished the first episode, but I kind of need to go over it. I don't know. It needs work. It needs something. I don't judge me, but I found these at for free at a church, and I was like, I got some romance novels. Like, I don't know if they're, but I was like, okay, let's read some trashy literature to see how they write romance. So I got some Julia Quinn. For those of you who don't know, she wrote Bridgerton. So I think this is actually like from the series. And I got Outlander. Yeah. Because you know what? Don't be judgy don't be a snob. Don't be a snob. Okay? A person can be interested in Faust and can be interested in Outlander. Okay? Different things. Trashy literature. I mean, like, who cares? Let's all just, like, ease off on the judgment about it. I used to never be caught dead with this kind of book. When I was younger, it was like, okay, let me know the greats, and I will read the greats. And then I can say that I've read the greats. And I don't know, what? Great. Then what? That's where it ends. What is Outlander? What's the channel it's on? I actually haven't seen it because, again, I used to be a snob. It's a series of books about a woman who goes back in time to, like, Scotland. What's the era? I want to say it's, like, 1300s? I'm not exactly sure. And then she falls in love with an Outlander. So, I think. So it's that. And it's a television show on, I want to say it's on Stars. People really like it. Really like it. You'd never judge. You already have. Eden exists within you. You should read more. I should read more. That's kind of why I'm like, okay, come on, let's get back to reading. Let's get back. It might be a video game. Like, they could have made it into a video game. I'm curious about like, even reading though. I should read more. Like, reading still exists on this pedestal of like, intelligent people read. Is that true? Meaning that when video becomes like so accessible and easy to do, is it more valuable to have someone's, this is actually something that I was talking to someone about. Is it more valuable to have someone's like clear, concise, thought out, okay, this is everything I know. I'm going to put it in a book form. I'm going to, I'm going to make it really clear and specific. I'm going to give examples. I'm going to like, give everything that I know in this book. Because essentially this is like how I see books really elevating oneself, is you're gleaning from someone else's life experience. So great, it's like this condensed version of someone, of a different point of view. And I guess it expands your vocabulary. So is it better to have that, or is it better to have like off the cuff videos like this, or interviews or whatever, of the person themselves just talking about maybe the things that they've spent their life studying, or maybe just like anything, like ridiculous nonsense. If a person really is knowledgeable, they're going to have interesting things to say about everything. So like, I don't know, it's just like, maybe books need to be taken down a peg, and we need to stop being like, books are the answer. And ultimately with this too, like, another person's life experience is of course useful and can expand your horizons and expand your thinking. I'm not going against that, but I might do like another video about this. I feel like everything you need to know about life is there for you to discover from your own vantage point. Like, it's all there. I just think most people are bad observers. So getting to know yourself. What a weird sentence. I'm always like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Getting to know yourself. Like, I think I know, but I feel like people don't use it right. Like, get curious about life, about experience. Like, actually study what it is to be alive. From you being alive. From you being like, what am I going through right now? What am I doing? What am I like, what's happening? And it's all right there for you to discover, not through someone else's book, just from like being with yourself and being really honest and really like exploring what it is you're going through. I think sometimes it's hard to be clear about it because we get so like wrapped up in feelings probably. But like, it's all there for you. It's all there for you. So, I don't know. That was just a little tangent I had about that. Okay. Is there anything else that I can offer you guys right now, or should I log off? As a teen, I'm curious, what's a piece of advice you give your 16-year-old self? I mean, I guess I'd want to know what kind of teen you are, because I can only speak about who I was. It's a good question, though. I mean, some of it is like everything I've been talking about today. Like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, and you're perfect exactly as you are. Even if you can't accept that idea, like, sit with that idea. You know what I'm saying? Meditate on that idea that you're perfect exactly as you are. Meaning, if you're like pissed off and angry, that's fine. If you're shy, that's fine. If you think you're ugly, that's fine. If you're really stressed all the time, that's fine. If you're not, that's fine. If you fit in, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. Like, trust yourself. And the other thing I would say is like, I don't want to give like cliche answers. As much as possible, recognize when you're focusing on something you don't want, recognize it and ask yourself, what do I actually want in this situation? What do I actually want in this situation? And know that you can have that. Know that you can have that and stay true to that, regardless of what's going on. Yeah, I could give like a whole speech, but I guess that's something I would say to myself. And also just like, you're extraordinary. Tell yourself you're extraordinary every single day. It does exist within you. What kind of eyeliner? What? I'm glad you asked me that, E.G., because I am the expert on that. So you want to have a unibrow? Great. Well, when you're shaving in the morning, collect, you know, the debris. Put it on like, you can get really good tape, like in a prosthetic shop. You know, like people who do like expert makeup. So it looks a lot like skin. You might have to put some makeup on it. So you put it on like a sticky tape and then just blend the edges. That's what I would do. So I wouldn't go for the pen because you want the texture. Or just manifest it, baby. I love my unibrow. My unibrow is so sexy. Oh, good. I'm glad you feel welcomed. You recommend razor. Get a thick Sharpie and go crazy. Be unique. You are unique. Wait, what? Really? I love that. That's really funny. She's not taking no for an answer. What does that mean? You can just like, you can manifest her away. She's not into me anymore. She moved on. I have a force field around me. Yeah. I don't know. That's like what I would do. Take your attention off her. She'll get over it. She'll move on. I've had that. Just don't give her anything. The unibrow will scare her off. See, I wouldn't go trying to scare her off. I would just force field. No one gets in. At least not her. Not for you. That's what I would do. Okay, anything else? No. All right, I'm gonna go so that I can turn my AC on because it is melting. Thank you so much. I hope you should go out and find some and try some. We all deserve to try gelato once in our lives. Okay, yeah, she's gone. I don't even know who you're talking about. She's gone. She moved. She went to a different gym. Bye. Bye, lady. She's gone. Okay. It's getting hotter here too. I do like summer. I'm excited. I need to buy bathing suits. Okay, I love you guys so much and thank you for being here and I'll see you next time. Bye.